Good morning, bore da. We're in February, we got there. Everyone always makes jokes, don't they, about how January is the longest month in the year. And I never kind of take much notice or buy into it, but we have made it to February. And do you know what happens next week? We start Lent. This year is just marching forward without any hesitation, isn't it? And yeah, we need to pick up the pace a little bit perhaps and join in. How are you? How's your week? What have you got planned this week? I wanted to share a little bit of something with you because I've got a conundrum. I can't solve it. Maybe you can. And if you can, I'd love to hear from you. So I got a little bit of grit inside my sock and then into my shoe, of course. And it just got in that little bit of the seam on the sock on the top of my toes. And I didn't really notice it, and except as the day carried on yesterday, I began to just notice a niggle in my sock, and I kept shifting my foot. You know how if you shift your foot around, you can kind of dislodge and just carry on, and then I pulled at my sock to move the seam into a different place and didn't think too much about it. Anyway, by the end of the day, the grit really had done something. It wasn't grit, it was a tiny little stone that had just got in there, like they do. I'm not complaining, it's just what happens. But it has caused a little blister on the top of my toes where my shoe has rubbed it. I thought, well, that was just silly of me, Sally. You know, I should have taken the sock off and sorted it out and just got on with life, and I wouldn't have had a little blister. Not worried about the blister. It'll be fine. What niggles me and what I can't work out is why if you put a little bit of grit into an oyster shell, it doesn't blister, it doesn't cause a miserable irritation. Oh, I've just had a penny drop, I'll carry on. It doesn't cause damage, it produces a beautiful pearl. And so the same little bit of grit in my sock causes me great discomfort, and the same little bit of grit in the oyster produces a thing of beauty. The penny drop I've just had is that perhaps it does cause irritation to the oyster, and that the pearl is its way of protecting itself against the irritation, and it makes that thing that's beautiful smooth so that it doesn't I don't know how oysters work. I need to go home and look this up. But I'm just minded to think, isn't it interesting that one person's rubbish is another person's treasure? Grit in my sock causes me irritation. Grit in a pearl, in an oyster, produces a pearl which brings me delight. How do we kind of rationalise all of that? These are the things that keep me awake at night. You don't have to join in if you don't want to. It is that whole thing that whatever we might find tough might be somebody else's easy. And we're looking at other people thinking, well, why are you struggling with that so much? Well, it's not their thing, and perhaps we should be stepping in and helping them with that in the same way that we'd like someone to step in and help us with our things sometimes. I'm rambling, aren't I? But you get the point. I was left wondering, well, what do I do with this? Do I give you a Bible verse? I don't know that there's one that would sort all of that out. Perhaps there is. Do I pray with you? And do you know what I actually decided to do? I thought we'll just share the Aaronic blessing. It's beautiful, beautiful words. It's in Numbers, it's Old Testament, and it's from Aaron. Well, it's in Numbers, and it's called the I can't ever say it. It's Aaron's blessing, and it goes like this. To God's gracious mercy and protection, we are committed. The Lord bless us and watch over us. The Lord make his face to shine upon us and be gracious to us. The Lord look kindly on us and give us his peace. And I rather like that idea that whether we've got grit in our sock or grit in an oyster, we still get the Lord's blessing. We still can find his peace, and he walks with us whatever. Oh, if you've got any feedback that you might help me so I don't lie awake at night wondering and worrying, and I don't have the energy to Google this morning. Far more important things to do. I'm just sharing my ramblings. I hope you have a really good day, and I shall see some of you this week. And you know where I am if you need me. Lots of love and God bless. Bye-bye.